Okay, so are you ready to jump into this? We're going deep inside, like maximum security prison deep.
Ugh, sounds intense.
It is, but also not what you'd expect. Like, forget Oz. This is more, I don't know, think Shawshank Redemption, but with a whole lot of awkward, like, office-style humor mixed in.
Yeah. Okay, you've got my attention. That's an interesting combo.
Right. So our main guy, Decca Heggie, even his name's great for this.
Mm-hmm.
He's fallen hard for the new prison officer, Harris.
New officer, huh? What's she like?
She's described as, sharp, confident, totally in control, which I guess is why Decca decides his best move is, well, cheesy pickup lines and bragging about being the top dog like it's high school all over again.
Oh no, that's wow. Bold strategy. You got to admire the commitment to those classic moves, I guess.
Right. It's like you're in prison where you'd think personal power is kind of limited, so you really got to lay it on thick.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's trying so hard to project this image, maybe even convincing himself he's still got some control. It's fascinating, really.
It makes you think, right? We've all got these different roles we play depending on where we are.
Oh, totally.
But predictably, Officer Harris is not buying it. So Decca, he is his game. He's going to express his undying love through poetry.
Oh boy, poetry. This I gotta hear.
Oh, yeah. And not, like, good poetry either.
Yeah.
We're talking rhymes so bad they'd make Shakespeare spin in his grave.
Oh no, come on now.
I'm serious. Picture this. Roses are red, violets are blue. I've knocked out 10 men, but I'm soft for you.
He did not. Oh my gosh, I would have lost it. How did she even keep a straight face?
Right. And I think at this point, most people would take the hint, yeah, time to back off.
But not Decca. He's all in. And here's where it gets really wild. Officer Harris, she doesn't shut it down completely.
Wait, what's she doing then?
She plays along just a little, like dropping these subtle hints that maybe, just maybe, she's into it too.
Oh, no. She's playing with fire. That is straight up pouring gasoline on a fire. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Decca's ego is already huge, and now he's getting this validation, even if it's totally fake. It's like he's setting himself up for what happens next, and he has no idea.
Lay it on me. What happens next? Okay, so we've got Decca totally smitten, convinced he's some kind of Romeo. And we've got Officer Harris, who's obviously onto his game and cooking up a little plan of her own. And it all leads to this secret rendezvous where the prison storage room, of all places. So picture this. It's the big night, right? Decca's heading to this storage room, probably sweating bullets and trying to remember his best lines from those poems. You can practically see the hearts in his eyes, ready for this clandestine meeting.
Yeah, talk about a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it is, because waiting in that storage room, it's not Officer Harris, all alone and love-struck like he's imagined.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Instead, she's there, but she's surrounded by, like, a dozen other officers, all doing their best not to completely lose it.
Oh, my God.
And get this, they've got his love poems, those poetic masterpieces, on display for everyone to see.
No way. They put him up on the wall or something.
It doesn't say, but I'm picturing like a bulletin board, maybe some mood lighting, who knows with these guys.
Oh, man. That's brutal, poor Decca. Talk about an ego killer.
Right. 1 minute you're the prison Casanova, next minute you're the punchline to the biggest joke in the yard.
And prison jokes, those spread like wildfire.
Oh, absolutely. You got to wonder what the fallout from this was like. Decca probably couldn't live this down for years, right?
Oh, for sure. But it's interesting because this whole thing really reveals a lot about what's going on inside that prison.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Officer Harris, she orchestrated this whole prank. She got all the other officers involved. Everyone's in on it.
Yeah.
But even though they're all laughing at Decca, it doesn't feel mean-spirited. Like there's no real malice there,
I see what you're saying. It's more like they're all in on a joke together.
Exactly. And that shared laughter, even at Decca's expense, it speaks to this camaraderie, this connection they have. Even though they're guards and inmates, for a second, that line gets blurred.
Right. They're all just people stuck in this crazy situation together, finding a way to connect.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good reminder that even in the most unlikely places, you can find those moments of human connection, even if it's through a well-executed prank.
Okay, but we can't forget about those poems. They were the catalyst for this whole thing. Decca was so sure of himself, convinced he was this great poet.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what was going through his head. Was he being sincere, trying to express himself, or was it all an act just to get attention?
Maybe a bit of both.
Probably. It's like this weird mix of motivations, But the fact that he chose poetry, I mean, that's what's interesting. It's supposed to be this romantic, vulnerable way of expressing yourself.
Makes you wonder if, after all that, Decca ever wrote another poem again.
Maybe he switched to songwriting? Prison ballads? That's going to be a niche market.
Okay, Now I'd listen to that album.
Mm.
But seriously, this whole thing, it really makes you think
What's that?
about how we find humor in the strangest places. And even, like, a weird kind of connection. You wouldn't expect that from a prison prank?
It's true, you don't. It reminds you that there's always more to the story. Everyone's got one, even a love-struck inmate with a way with words, or at least he tried to.
Yeah, no kidding. But hey, at least Officer Harris got a good story out of it, right?
That she did. And honestly, isn't that part of what makes life interesting? Those unexpected stories, the moments that make you laugh and also make you think.
Totally. Well, I'd say we've reached the end of this deep dive.
And what a deep dive it was. We started with some cheesy pickup lines, went through some truly terrible poetry.
And ended up somewhere surprisingly profound. Who knew a prison love story could be so revealing, right?
You never know where these deep dives will take us. But that's the fun of it, right?
Absolutely. So until next time, remember, everyone has a story. Even if it involves questionable poetry and a storage room rendezvous gone wrong. Keep exploring those stories, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.